popular program.
It has changed the life of a lot of people in India. In fact, if you look at it, there are more than 650,000 treadle pumps installed in eastern India. It reduces global warming because there's less emission of carbon dioxide.
One villager on a water treadle for 1 year can earn half of a carbon credit. Who buys credits like these? Well, in such small quantities, it won't likely be a big oil company. More likely, these farmers will be selling their credits to well-intentioned individual consumers who want to reduce their carbon footprint. Halfway round the world in London, treadle credits are used by people like Mary Tomes. She sells colorful coffins and cremation services.
It was just merely something that we did that we thought would be helpful to the world, really.
When the dead are cremated, they release CO2. Mary Tomes offers the bereaved a chance to offset their loved one's last carbon footprint.
Last year, we offset something around 215 tonnes. This year, we're going to offset 250 tonnes of emissions.
Mary gets her credits from a carbon offset company that buys from these farmers in India. To offset one cremation would take a villager 6 months of treadling. Hard labor, some would say, for the peace of mind of a British consumer.
We see that essentially as being a form of carbon colonialism. You're treating the emissions reductions as a new commodity that can be extracted and profitably used for the benefit of northern countries and consumers.
No, we're paying others, okay, in the same way we pay others to take our garbage to the dump.
Ethics aside, treadling won't pull much carbon out of the air. When we return, large-scale carbon removal schemes may be more attractive to the carbon market.
We are talking about planetary scale intervention to solve a planetary scale problem.
But what are the environmental consequences?
Putting fertilizer on the ocean is a crazy idea.
Carbon hunting may become a much bigger business, as big as the Pacific Ocean, if massive-scale technological schemes, like the plans to trap CO2 in seawater, get certified for carbon credits. Scientists have gathered in San Francisco to talk about geoengineering. Margaret Lehnen has a PhD in geological oceanography.
I believe that we will be required to actively remove CO2 from the atmosphere. I just don't see how we can change our economies quickly enough to deal with the climate impacts that are coming so quickly. We are talking about planetary scale intervention to solve a planetary scale problem of decades of duration.
One plan is to dump urea, a chemical fertilizer, into the ocean to create massive algae blooms. Theoretically, the algae will absorb CO2 from the atmosphere, die, and eventually sink to the depths of the ocean, taking the CO2 with it, supposedly for centuries. If everything works according to plan, they're also hoping to generate millions of carbon credits in the process.
If we were able to sequester a lot of carbon, 1 or 2 gigatons of CO2, it would be a very large activity, and it could be a large business or many large businesses.
One group is already testing the concept. But in the Philippines, this whole idea of altering the ocean's chemistry isn't going over well with the local fishermen, who worry marine life will suffer.